Okay, now we are looking at solving equations when variables are on both sides of the equal sign. You're going to have an additional step here, and your goal is to get your variables on one side of the equal sign. And my suggestion is to do that first. So here we have a variable term, an equal sign. I can go ahead and draw my line. A variable term and a constant. Again, my goal is to have my variable term on one side of the equal sign and my constant on the other side of the equal sign. Since my constant is on the right, I'm going to move 4k to this side. Well, what's the inverse of 4k? What would get 0k here? If I have 4k, I need to take away 4k so that it's not on that side anymore. So that is subtraction. I'm going to subtract 4k from both sides of the equal sign. 4k minus 4k is 0. 0 plus 15, so that leaves me with my constant on this side of the equal sign. And then subtract 4k from 7k and I get 3k. Now I am set up where I have a variable term equals to a constant. I can do the inverse of multiplication, which is division. Divide both sides by 3 and we get k equals 5. Same goal, variable term on one side, constant on the other. You have options here. You can subtract 5x or you could subtract 3x. Either one will cancel out on one side and move it to the other side. My suggestion is to move the one that's lower to this side so that you're left with a positive variable term. But it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to subtract 3x because subtracting 3x from 5x leaves me with positive 2x. So 3x minus 3x is 0. So that leaves me with 0 plus 4, which is 4. That's all that I have on the right-hand side. Bring down my minus 2. So now I have 2x minus 2 equals 4. Now I have a two-step equation. Add 2 to both sides. 2x equals 6. Divide by 2 on both sides, and x equals 3. Few more steps because we have distributive property and we have like terms on the same side of the equal sign. Always do the distributive property first. Get that multiplication done. What are we distributing? We are distributing -2 to everything inside the parentheses. So I'm going to bring down the constant 2 and I'm going to multiply -2 times 1, which is -2. -2 times -m, which is positive 2m. On this side of the equal sign, I don't have any distributive property, but I have like terms that are on the same side of the equal sign. I do not use inverse operations if I'm just combining like terms that are on the same side. So I have a -5m and a positive 2m.
There's just like a little mark on there.
Yeah, I don't know what, that isn't there. -5 plus 2 is -3m. Bring down my constant, which is a positive 3. I do have like terms I can combine over here. 2 minus 2 is 0, so that leaves me with just 2m equals 3 minus 3m. Since I already have a constant on this side, and I don't have a constant on this side, I'm going to say this is where I'm going to leave the constant, and I'm going to move my variables to the opposite side. So if I have -3m, I'm going to add 3m so that I have 0m on that side. What do I do to one side? I have 2. Do to the other. So -3m plus 3m cancels out, leaving me with just 3, and 2m plus 3m is 5m. The inverse of multiplication is division. Divide both sides by 5 so that I get m by itself. And 3 is not divisible by 5, so I'm just going to leave it in fraction form, 3/5. So m is equal to 3/5. Application of variables on both sides. We can compare companies in this example to see which is going to be the best company to suit our needs. So here we have two phone companies, Company A and Company B. The long distance rates are shown in the table. How long is a call that costs the same amount no matter which company is used? Well, Company A charges 36 cents plus 3 cents per minute. Per means multiply 3 cents times the number of minutes you use. So that's the expression that would represent the cost of a phone call with Company A. Company B doesn't have that initial fee. It just charges 6 cents per minute. So I'm just going to do 6 cents times the number of minutes. So M represents the number of minutes the phone call is. It says, how long is a call that costs the same amount? When will these two companies cost the same amount? So basically, I'm saying, when will these two expressions, for what value of M, will they be equal? So notice we have an equations with variables on both sides. I have a constant here, so I'm going to get all my variable terms to the opposite side by subtracting 6 cents minus 3 cents is 3 cents. Bring down my 0.36. Now I need to divide by 0.03, and I'm left with M equals, if this is 0.36 divided by 0.03, I can multiply the top and the bottom by 100, making it 36 divided by 3, which is 12. So 12 minutes is the number of minutes I would need to talk on the phone so that Company A and Company B charge the same amount. What is the cost of that call? Well, to figure out the cost of that call, I can go back up to either company and just figure out what is 12 minutes at 3 cents per minute. It is 36 cents. What is 36 cents plus that initial fee of 36 cents? It is 72 cents. So the cost of a call with Company A at 12 minutes would be 72 cents. Plug it in on this side, and 6 times 12, you still get 72 cents, which makes sense because this is the number of minutes that would make the two companies cost the same. Another very similar example, you'll see that these examples are repetitive. You've got Comcast, a cable television provider, charges a $460 setup fee. So that's your constant, that's your one-time fee, and $80 per month. Per is always my key word that says the variable is going to go with 80 because I'm multiplying 80 times the number of months. So my variable, we can say my variable is X, and it's going to represent the number of months. So that's my first step. I defined my variable. Dish Network charges $160 for equipment and $70 per month. So here's $70 per month. X still represents the number of months. Write and solve an equation to determine the number of months for the cost to be the same. So when will Comcast cost the same as Dish Network? How do we figure out how much Comcast charge? It says they charge $460 setup fee plus $80 per month. And Dish Network charges $160 fee for equipment, so you only pay that once, so that's your constant, and $70 per month. I used X to represent the number of months. When will they be equal? So now we have an equation with variables on both sides. I'm going to get all my variables on one side of the equal sign, so I'm going to subtract the smaller one. And that leaves me with 460 plus 10x equals 160. Now I can move my constant to the other side. And that leaves me with 10x equals negative 300. And when I divide both sides by 10, I get x equals negative 30, which doesn't make a lot of sense. Because that would say that in negative 30 months,
which is not possible.
That's when they would be the same. So if we look at our problem, let's look at it logically. If Comcast charges this much, look how much their startup fee is, and they're charging more per month. They're charging a lot less to begin with and less per month. So this plan will never be
equal.
It'll never be cheaper than this plan,
never.
And it would take a negative number to make them equal. So yes, there can be a value of x that makes them equal, but that value of x doesn't make sense in this problem because we can't have a negative number of months.
We probably need to stop.
All right.
Okay.